Well, it sounds like you have been extremely successful in your career and that you've kind of done it your own rock and roll way. Do you have any advice for any young up-and-coming musicians or composers?
Well, it's interesting you say really successful, and I don't really look at it that way. I think the success for me, number one, is getting up every day and going, what should I do today? That's success. So I have I've steered away from really giant projects. Mm-hmm. And as a film composer, I've gotten offered some stuff that was really cheesy, big time stuff that I know is going to involve 50 emails a day and notes about this. And I've tended to do a more boutique business and work one-on-one. Especially, I do a lot of self-funded stuff. So in doing that, I've taken a hit financially of what I could have done. So it's a different kind of success than I think other people have had. Mm-hmm. I'm 0-5 in the Grammys, and I don't really have a giant name outside of the industry, but I'm very happy. I love what I do. I work with great people. I have the best friends. I love this whole industry. The tribe of musicians, it's very, very cool. And as far as advice to kids, the number one thing that I see that is, I'll start with a negative, unfortunately. I see lacking so much is a sense of history. It blows me away. The young kids I work with, super talented, smart, but their lineage is unbelievable. I'll mention, this or this. Who's that? Steely Dan, Doobie Brothers. Who's that? I mean, how can you not know that? And
I'm not even in music, and I know who they are.
Right? Well, good for you. You should be. And so imagine being a musician, and this one artist said to me, "Well, you're just saying that because you're old."
Ouch.
And I go, "No, not out." It actually didn't hurt at all, because I said, let me tell you, when I was your age, I didn't have that little supercomputer you carry around in your butt that you used to find out what Kim Kardashian wore last night. I didn't have that. I would have killed for that. But I knew the history of music when I was your age, back to the 1700s.
Wow.
I knew Frankie Valli, Rudy Valli. I knew Fats Domino. I knew Fats Waller. I knew Scriabin. I knew Stephen Foster. I transcribed Charlie Parker solo because I had a thirst to know all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it blows me away that now we've got this device where you can know everything, and how much ignorance I see of lack of knowledge about history. It blows me away. And I think, where's your curiosity? And the analogy I used would be, so you're going to be a physicist, but you don't know who Albert Einstein is. That's really how ridiculous that is to me. So I don't want to be like the old man pointing, "Get off my lawn," but man, you kids got to know your history. You got to know every Stevie Wonder record, right? You got to know all that stuff. You got to do your research. And it's just going to make your job easier because the hard work's been done. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. These records are unbelievable. These records from the 60s and 70s and 80s are just amazing records. And if you don't know that stuff, I just don't get it. And, I spoke the other night for an AES thing. And some guy goes, how do you get to be a producer like you? And I said, it's really easy. Just be really fucking good. Just get good at every aspect of the job. Mm-hmm. So you're irreplaceable. So when you walk in a room, you elevate that room. And not in an egotistical way, but you bring the whole level of the room up. And then when you're not there, they go, "Hey, we got to get that guy back in here, man." When he's around, stuff starts working. It's not that hard. And unfortunately, if you want to be a doctor, A plus B plus C, D, you get your thing, then. There's no path to this. Right. So I think that makes it easier, not harder. That means I can be a R&B vinyl producer in Belgium with, all girl bands, right?
Yeah.
So you can make whatever you want to make in here, but you just got to be great. You got to be great at what you do.
That is the hard part.
That's the easy part.
What kind of advice would you give to your young self?
You know what? Well, first of all, I'd go write more songs. I didn't take myself seriously as a writer. I left a lot of money on the table there. This is simple. I didn't give myself enough credit. A lot of it's coming from the Midwest. And you're out here in LA. And I would contribute an intro. Hey, what if we did this in the bridge? And I'm a co-writer. But I didn't really have the balls to go, hey, if you're going to use that, I'm going to need 10%.
Yeah.
And I work with guys like Steve Lukather. There's like, the artist goes, hey, that hook is amazing. It makes the whole song. Oh, yeah? Good, 15%. And they go, and he'd go, 15%. And he'd get 15%. But see, he grew up in this environment. So he was nurtured to be part of that and asked for that. I just didn't know. Yeah. I was just happy to be here,
Yeah.
So I would tell that young kid, no, you are good enough to get that, and don't settle for less. So.
That's good advice.
Yeah, it hurts to say it actually, because it really does. Because I, sold myself so short when I was first getting started here, just because I was happy to be in the room, and I'm sitting with these giants in these rooms. How did I get in this room? Well, it's because I'm great at what I do.
Yeah.
And I didn't give myself enough credit for that. I do now, though.
Yeah.
No, I do. I actually do. I know. I did a gig for someone, and they said, "How much do you want?" Blah 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 blah. And how long will it take? And we figured we can do it in a day. Well, I walked in and I knocked this out in like 3 or 4 hours. And the guy goes, "Hey, we agreed on that rate, but that was for the full day, and this only took 3 or 4 hours." And I'm going to pay you for 4 hours. And I said, it didn't take 4 hours. It took 40 years for me to be that good. Like when I walk in the door, what's in here and what's happened, and what I've seen in my life, and the music I've made with the artists I've made, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we should all know what we have, I'm a 0.001 percentage experienced person on this planet. And to know that, and I'm not trying to brag or be any kind of, it's not boastful, anything like that, but just knowing who you are and knowing that what you have is rare. It's not like nobody else has that. You're special. It's Mr. Rogers. It really is. So I'm going to start crying.
Oh.
It's deep, man. It's very important. Very important to know.